I can hear a word and I'm like, oh, I understood that, or oh, I got that, or oh, okay. Light bulb moment. Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Najah Marie, back with another video, and today I'm sharing with you all my secret slash not so secret techniques that have been helping me learn Spanish, español. So without further ado, here goes nothing. The first technique that I've been using to help me learn español is apps, and more apps. Now, what do I mean by that? Obviously apps as in applications. The stuff that's on your phone that you just tap and it opens up and you have, what do you call it? An app? Obviously you call it an app, but it's, I don't know, it's basically like I think I just confused myself, but forget what I just said. I have been using, I have to look at my notes because I can't remember these off the top of my head. I have been using Pimsleur, Memrise, Reverso Context, and Spanish dictionary, but the app has the last syllable cut off, so it's Spanish dictionary. For Pimsleur, okay, so to put it into context, Pimsleur is basically an app where you choose a language, pay a subscription every month after your trial period is over, and you get to practice learning a language within like 5 levels, or at least the Spanish that I'm learning, which is Castilian Spanish. That Spanish has 5 levels on Pimsleur, and I'm currently on level 3. And you are listening and repeating what the other person is saying through the app. So yeah, you're listening and repeating what the narrator or the actor is saying on the app. And you do that for about 30 minutes. So each lesson is 30 minutes long. However, it's recommended that you do a lesson every day because the next lesson builds off of the previous lesson. It's 30 minutes of just listening and repeating, and that gets boring after a while. So 30 minutes is just enough time to fully absorb whatever new vocabulary or phrases that you're learning in that current lesson. So for example, I'm currently on lesson, I think I'm on lesson 11, and I have now learned the Spanish verb haber, which is another word for ser, which also means like to be, but I think it's like the past tense. Don't quote me on that. I'll have some actual stuff somewhere so that you'll actually understand what it is that I'm talking about. But I learned some conjugations of haber yesterday, and I'm going to continue with that today because I haven't done my lección 11 yet. The next app is Memrise. It's a lot more fun than Pimsleur because you're not just listening and repeating for 30 minutes straight. It's a fun flashcard app that uses spaced repetition. It uses spaced repetition to help you learn new vocabulary and new phrases based upon whichever level or section that you're on. For me, the last level I was on was like the level talked about sightseeing, so I was learning vocabulary and phrases having to do with sightseeing and being a tourist and asking where are certain things and how do I get to here, how do I get to there, which train do I take, etc, etc, etc. I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, so I am very behind because I've just been focusing on Pimsleur so that I can finish those 5 levels and be done, so I don't have to pay $15 a month. So that's what I'm currently focusing on. And now I'm going to continue. Another app that I've also been using, or at least I had been using in the past, is Babbel. Babbel is another app that you pay for a subscription, and it's similar to Memrise and Pimsleur because it has a bit of both the listening comprehension and the spaced repetition flashcards. So it's a combination of both. but again, it just depends upon your preferences and which app that you like more. As you can see, I've been using more than one. So again, it just depends on what you like. The last two apps that I've been using to help me learn Spanish are Tandem and italki. And I kind of switch between both, just depends. And both of these apps are apps that allow you to meet native speakers that are speaking whatever language that you want to learn. So if you're learning Spanish, right, you would basically like download the app, create a profile, and place in your bio what languages that you wish to learn, and you'll get messages by native speakers who want to learn English, and so on and so forth. You chat in a chat room, and whatever happens from there happens. You might make a new friend, who knows. The second technique I've been using to help me learn more Spanish is consuming content. What do I mean by this? When I say consume content, that literally means consuming content that is in your target language, whatever it is that you're into. So for example, if you like listening to music a lot, well, if you're learning Spanish, why not try to listen to Spanish music? And also, pro tip, take those Spanish songs and translate them into English. Of course, granted, Spanish and English, there isn't exactly, it's not like in baking where you have a 1-to-1 ratio of flour and sugar. So it's not exactly equal. So some words that sound good in Spanish might not translate well into English. So, you know, you kind of have to finagle and finesse certain words for it to actually, for a song to flow if you're translating it from Spanish to English and vice versa. Another example, if you're into cooking, right? If you love to cook, we'll find recipes that are in Spanish. And if you don't know a word, look it up. Because that's what I've been doing. Looking up words that you don't understand and then actually using that recipe to make something. Or if you like watching movies and television, find TV shows that are in Spanish. Another pro tip, use English subtitles in the beginning until you feel more comfortable with Spanish, and then completely switch to only having Spanish audio and Spanish subtitles. You'll feel like a fish out of water, but you'll feel way more confident because you actually are able to listen to how the language sounds. You're able to understand how certain words are pronounced, etc., etc., etc. So it really helps. And to piggyback off of that last point, one thing that I've also been incorporating recently into my Spanish routine is listening to and or watching Spanish news. Half the time I don't understand exactly what it is that they're saying, but other times I can hear a word and I'm like, oh, I understood that, or oh, I got that, or oh, okay. Using context clues and putting them all together, and then, oh, okay, light bulb moment, and I figure it out. And it's like, oh, okay, wow, this really isn't that much different from American news. It's still a little bit depressing, but at least it sounds better. I don't know, in my mind it sounds better, so I prefer to watch Spanish news. But let's keep going with the video. My third technique that I've been using to help me learn more Spanish is using stickers or labeling everything. Now, how do I do this? Well, I use these stickers from this brand called Guru stickers, and it's so cool because, let me show you guys. So they look like this. Sorry, there's a glare from my ring light, but I've been using these stickers and I got them from Amazon, and they literally have 180 Spanish words for you to stick onto things throughout your house or your apartment or whatever. The more you're exposed to a language, the easier it is for your brain to understand and comprehend certain things. So obviously you have to learn vocabulary. You have to learn vocabulary within your own home, because that literally did not come out right. So these stickers help you with vocabulary. You can place them on the corresponding objects throughout your home, and that way when you look at that particular object, you can see like the Spanish word for what it is that you're looking at. And obviously I like have some of these all torn out because I've already stuck a few stickers onto things, and it really helps me because they also have pictures too, so you can, oh my god, the lighting is not okay. Well, they have pictures so you can actually see what that particular item is supposed to look like, etc, etc. So these, I highly suggest that you get this. And I forgot how much I paid for it, but I'll put a link in the description box below. My third secret / not so secret technique for learning Spanish has been talking to myself. I know, that's a little strange. Not really, because we all do it. Obviously, even I do it. Like, I talk to myself out loud in English, and there's nothing crazy about that. People do that all the time. It's just other people who are scared to do it themselves that bully people who do. So don't beat yourself up if you talk to yourself out loud, because it actually helps. However, in the context of this video, talking to yourself aloud in Spanish helps a lot because it forces you to actually speak the language. It forces you to think of vocabulary that you've already acquired and using that within the context of your daily life because you're speaking your thoughts out loud. And talking to yourself aloud in español also helps you when you're not near a native speaker, or you're not living with one, or you don't have a neighbor who happens to speak Spanish as well. So it helps. But it is not a substitute for speaking with a native speaker. Which leads me to my last and final technique for learning Spanish, and that is speaking with not just a native speaker, but with a trusted friend, significant other, classmate, whatever. But just speaking with somebody that you know and trust who's a native Spanish speaker. Now, why do I suggest you do this? Because it's a lot cheaper than having to possibly travel to a Spanish-speaking country and living there for a couple of months where you have no choice but to acclimate yourself to the environment, the culture, everything about whichever Spanish-speaking country that you particularly would like to travel to. Another reason why having a native Spanish-speaking buddy / significant other / classmate is another great technique is because learning Spanish with your native speaker friend, etc. It allows you to learn the idiosyncrasies of Spanish that you would not be able to learn if you were using grammar books or apps like Pimsleur, etc. Because those apps and your grammar books aren't going to teach you the slang terms like the different slang terms that are used in Spanish. You're just not going to get that unless you're speaking with a native speaker who's obviously, that's their first language, so they're used to it. And the final reason for speaking with a native Spanish speaker is that you are learning Spanish with someone you trust, someone you know, someone you're comfortable with. So there's no pressure. And it's really fun because of your Spanish friend, significant other, whichever, is also learning English and you're learning Spanish, then you're both learning at the same time. So it's killing two birds with one stone. And it's also really funny because hypothetically speaking, you'll probably have conversations where your friend will say something and you don't understand them, and you say something and they don't understand you, and then the both of you are just like, what? But then it's funny because you're both learning, so it's all just for fun. There's no pressure. You can learn the language at your own pace. It's not like you're in a Spanish class. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that my techniques are going to help you if you choose to use them. And if you've been enjoying my content so far, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe below. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Toodles!